This month on Connections. Let the show begin in Old Town, where horses take center stage at the Noble Horse Theater, our first stop. Next, we pick up the number 8 Halsted Street bus for a ride with one of Chicago's finest chefs and a visit to a very popular restaurant. As we board the Blue Line, we'll tell you why riding the rails is getting even more convenient for CTA customers on the go. Our journey continues on the Blue Line with a stop at Clinton Station, where customers are always greeted with a smile by one of the CTA's rodeo winners. Our travels west on the Blue Line take us to 2 suburban towns where visitors can experience the expected and the unexpected. Our destination, Cicero and Berwyn. Before hopping back on board the Blue Line, we'll tell you why traveling throughout the region on public transportation has just gotten easier for CTA customers. Finally, it's back on the Blue Line for a celebration marking a milestone in CTA history, on our way to our last stop, the Mexican Fine Arts Center Museum. There's so much to see and do around Chicagoland, and the CTA can take you there.
Hi, I'm Dale Rivera. Welcome to Connections, where you can learn all about using the CTA in and around Chicagoland. The next time you take the Brown Line, you'll want to take notice of the scenery around the Sedgwick stop. If you glance out the window of the train, you may catch a glimpse of horses grazing outside, part of the Noble Horse Theater, our first stop.
Just off the Brown Line Sedgwick stop, horses are not only let out to pasture, they're also the star performers at Chicago's Noble Horse Theater. Founded in 2003, the shows at the Noble Horse Theater amaze, educate, and delight the young and old.
People like horses, and when we humans have used horses for thousands of years, and the bond between horses and people, it is an almost unbelievable bond.
Currently in the theater's center ring, international horses and trainers are performing in an 18th century show called Quadrille. The show depicts life after a very famous battle between Napoleon's France and Austria in 1805.
Napoleon ordered a festival of the horse, and it was held in the Royal Riding Hall in Vienna, which was built in the 15th century for the Habsburg Empire. And we try to make it as historically accurate as we possibly can. And of course, there is the entertainment value. You know, we do jazz it up.
Throughout the show, horses and trainers alike demonstrate a variety of skills and tricks.
We have famous Andalusians that do rear-ups, and they kneel, and they bow, and they lay down. We have vaulting horses from Kazakhstan, which is actually the province of the old Soviet Union. And then, of course, the things that a lot of people don't appreciate, which take the longest, is the fine art of dressage, which is truly ballet on horseback.
Both the horses and trainers know how to please a crowd.
The guy jumping rope on the horse, that's just incredible.
I just really enjoyed it, and I think that the kids had an excellent experience.
Now, it isn't just the horses that make the Noble Horse Theater famous. The stables were built just after the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, and they're also home to some of Chicago's horse-drawn carriages.
These are actually antique carriages, which we are proud of, and we're one of the few places in the United States that use true antique carriages.
It isn't every day that you can get up close and personal with horses in downtown Chicago, but at the Noble Horse Theater you can, and the CTA can take you there. Here's how. So take a step back in time at the Noble Horse Theater and let your journey begin on the CTA.
The number 8 Halsted Street bus is going to take us south to a part of town just west of the Loop that some call Restaurant Row. On your way there, you may end up sitting next to one chef who sees public transportation as an essential ingredient of our city's unique flavor.
Almost every morning, you'll find CTA customer Jackie Shen catching the bus on her daily commute to work.
It's convenient, it's great, it gives me a lot of flexibility.
As a CTA customer for more than 30 years, you might say that Jackie ranks among the CTA's most loyal customers.
When I get on the bus, I can do a lot of things and reading or just stare at people, look at it, scenery.
But if you ride alongside her, you might not realize that Jackie also ranks among Chicago's top chefs.
I'm the chef at Red Light. We are a Pan-Asian restaurant.
Her commute on the CTA gets her to work early, 8 a.m., in time to phone in food orders
Sunday Phai Log.
and dream up recipes for the day's specials.
We're gonna use this lobster for a curry dish that we're gonna do for lunch today. I like to work with fish. I like to see what one can do with one fish 16 different ways. With such a global menu, people travel a lot now, people see things a lot now. So you kind of wanted to stay away from the boring things.
You won't find boring on the menu here at Red Light. The creative twist that Jackie and her staff puts on each and every Pan-Asian dish is what keeps the customers coming back for more. Earning that customer loyalty is something Jackie works hard for every day, and something she appreciates about the CTA.
You acknowledge the bus drivers, you say thank you very much for the ride, and it makes the day. It's just like somebody comes to me while I'm serving the dinner and someone said, thank you for a nice meal. We are on the same service industry. How you want to give to your people and how CTA want to give to their people, it's the same.
So the next time you're at the Red Light eating, or at a Red Light riding on the CTA, take a look around for Jackie Shen. There's a chance she'll be cooking up a great meal for you, or a great conversation with you aboard the CTA.
Over the years, it becomes my only way that I wanted to travel.
The next time you ride the rails in the CTA, take a look around. You may be noticing new or rehabbed concessions at many CTA stations. It's just another way the CTA is working to make your commute more convenient each time you step on board.
When CTA customer Danny Ledeen steps off the Green Line train at Cicero Station, he often has one thing on his mind.
Hot chocolate and the chocolate Long John.
But now he's no longer just thinking about hot chocolate and donuts. He's able to buy them at the Dunkin' Donuts, located right inside the CTA station.
Right when you get off the train, it's very convenient.
This Dunkin' Donuts store is one of dozens of concessions open for business in CTA rail stations across the system. It's one more way the CTA is making commutes more attractive and convenient for customers.
Whether they're running down to work and on the train, they can buy a newspaper. When they're on their way home from work, they can stop and buy a cup of coffee. It allows us to make public transit more attractive to our customers.
Concessions at CTA stations are not only convenient, but they help generate revenue for the CTA as well. And more, the CTA is entering into longer-term leases with vendors who are then required to make capital improvements to the property. It's a win-win for everyone. Vendors get a better return on their investment and greater stability, and customers get nicer facilities.
We have opened up 56 concession stands under long-term leases, which have resulted in excess of $4.75 million in capital improvements to our stations.
For vendors, opening a store inside a CTA station is especially attractive for one reason: the constant stream of potential customers, like at the Brown Line's Western stop, where more than 3,000 customers pass through the station on an average weekday.
We chose this location basically because we believe in fast service, speed of service, efficiency of service. And where could you think of a more better place to reach out to people than CTA?
Communities across the city benefit as well. Concessions at CTA rail stations bring new investment into neighborhoods.
Sí, un café.
In Pilsen, along the Blue Line Cermak branch, passers-by on 18th Street can stop for a coffee at a walk-up window outside, while CTA customers headed out of the station can stop on their way.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day.
I think it's a win-win for both parties because people know that there's a Dunkin' Donuts they can walk up to, as well as they can go inside, ride the station, get a cup of coffee.
Studies show that 30% of us eat breakfast on the run. That's true of CTA customer Norma Diaz, who is now a regular Dunkin' Donuts patron at her stop.
Especially right now when it's cold, you always want to grab a coffee or something.
But remember, there's no eating or drinking on CTA trains or buses. So keep your food or drink tucked away and closed until you reach your destination. So whether you need a newspaper for the ride or a quick bite on your way home, save yourself time and visit a concession stand at a CTA station.
We're on the Blue Line, about to head west on the 54th Cermak branch. At every station along the way, the CTA has people in place that will help you navigate your trip. But at one station, you'll meet an employee whose smile and helpful ways are award-winning. CTA Rodeo winner Robert Kempfe is working hard every day to help keep your commute on track.
When you're exiting at the Blue Line's Clinton station, you may notice a smiling face near the turnstiles. That's likely to be customer assistant Robert Kempfe, a 2004 CTA Rodeo winner. Finding out he had won was quite a present for this man who, on that day, was celebrating his birthday.
I was surprised, and it was a good way to have my birthday.
Even though it was a special day, Robert approached the rodeo competition just like another day on the job, where he answers customers' questions, helps with fare cards, provides directions, and assists customers with disabilities.
I believe I'm a people person, so I just like to be out helping the people as much as I can. I just love dealing with people, so it just gives me a chance to interact, especially at certain stations I can meet and interact with people from different parts of the country and the world.
During the rodeo competition, mock customers challenged customer assistants on a number of tasks, such as providing directions or helping customers with fare cards. And they did this while family and friends looked on.
It's an important event because it allows our customer assistants as well as our other employees to show off their skills and knowledge, and it also allows us to recognize our many good employees that we have.
Robert has been working at the CTA for more than 9 years.
Go down the escalator, any train on your left, and O'Hare's the last stop.
At Clinton Station, the Blue Line managers and staff are proud of him and his big win.
He conducts himself with very professional, courteous, treats our customers with respect, answers their questions, very knowledgeable about his job duties, responsibilities as a customer assistant.
Most likely, if you see Robert at Clinton Station, he's going to greet you with a smile and a kind word. So be sure to flash a smile back with congratulations on a job well done.
We've reached the end of the Blue Line's 54th Cermak branch, where buses are waiting to take us into the heart of neighboring west suburban communities loaded with charm, history, and a touch of the unusual. Our destination? Cicero and the neighboring community of Berwyn.
You may not realize it, but the CTA serves 40 suburban communities, giving you 40 more reasons to get up, get out, and explore Chicagoland on the CTA. 2 of those reasons can be found just west of the city near the Chicago border and south of Oak Park. They're the communities of Cicero and Berwyn. For a tour of these 2 west suburban neighborhoods, we turn to John Kacholko, a local Cicero resident and historian.
What makes this area of Cicero and Berwyn such a great destination?
Well, I've always thought of Cicero, and I believe it applies to Berwyn as well, as really representing the national motto, E pluribus unum, because Cicero has many communities combined into one. So I like to think that you can come to this area in order to shop and do business, in order to dine. You can come here to work, to live, or to worship. Really, Cicero and Berwyn, we have it all.
Just for kicks, check out Route 66. This historic stretch of 2,400-mile cross-country roadway runs right through the heart of Berwyn.
It's part of our history from back in the Depression days when the Okies moved to California to get out of the Dust Bowl to people just wanting to travel the whole United States. It still represents part of our history, and you can still see elements of our history in the United States across Route 66.
In celebration of that history, the Berwyn Development Corporation hosts an annual car show along Route 66, also known as America's Mother Road. Locals know it as Ogden Avenue. The show attracts people from around the world.
We have travelers from Japan and Europe. We recently had a group of car collectors from Europe who shipped their cars to the United States and did a tour from Chicago to Los Angeles on Route 66. And they stopped here in Berwyn and were part of our car show. They actually shipped their cars here. It was totally amazing.
The car show is held every fall and is open to the public. The road to Berwyn's discovery dates back to the late 1800s, when two Chicago realtors started developing and selling land here. Buyers were attracted to the close proximity to Chicago, made even more attractive when the existing rail lines began serving commuters. While Berwyn had great rail transportation, Cicero was developing a reputation as a leader in air transportation. The Cicero flying field was, at one time, the busiest airport in the world.
In 1914, for a 3-month period, it had more departures and arrivals than all airports in the U.S.
As aviation was taking flight, the Cicero flying field was on the cutting edge, hosting aviation pioneers like the Wright brothers and Charles Lindbergh. Today, the Cicero Stadium can be found where the airfield once stood, but the memories are still preserved.
It's an important part of the town history.
Today, Cicero and Berwyn thrive as communities geared toward families. Affordable housing is a big attraction.
These buildings were erected in the days when homes were built to last. They were built substantially. And you can find housing stock ranging from the frame farmhouses that were erected near the railroad station in the 1870s, all the way to our well-known bungalows.
Along the business districts, you'll find any number of restaurants. Be sure to check out Klaus Restaurant in Cicero, a favorite of the locals, with its impressive Czech-influenced decor and menu. Or another popular spot, Fitzgerald's. If you're into the quirky, be sure to stop by the Cermak Plaza Shopping Center in Berwyn. The CTA drops you off at its doorstep. But before heading into the stores, you'll be treated to some imaginative and unusual public art pieces. There are over 20 works of art in all. Before leaving the area, put on your bowling shoes, or rather your dancing shoes, and head to Town Hall Bowl in Cicero for a little late-night disco bowling.
We call it cosmic bowling. It's where people come here, listen to music, family, kids, all types of ages. We turn on these cosmic lights. People love them. They like to bowl with them.
The music starts pumping every Friday and Saturday night at 9:30. From the usual to the unusual, there's so much to see and do in Berwyn and Cicero. Just let the CTA get you there. Here's how. So remember, the next time you want to get out and explore the city and the suburbs, you can do it with the help of the CTA.
The next time you're in the Chicago suburbs, consider this. You now have more reasons to use public transportation, thanks to a new agreement that makes it easier for CTA customers to transfer to Pace buses. All you need is a little basic training.
CTA customer Nicole Stone takes 2 buses to get to work every day, a CTA bus and a PACE bus. But now her commute has become a whole lot easier.
It's a lot better and also helps kids out that gotta go to school, and plus it also helps me out for work.
Under a new pilot program, the PACE bus system is now accepting all CTA passes.
CTA customers can now take advantage of using their 7-day pass, their university pass, the U-Pass, and visitors passes on PACE suburban buses.
Previously, PACE only accepted certain CTA fare cards and passes. Now, with a new agreement in place, CTA customers who also travel on PACE never have to give any thought to whether their CTA fare card will be accepted on PACE, since everything is now accepted.
It creates a seamless transfer for our customers between PACE and CTA system. So what that means for our customers is that they're not having to deal with the hassle of having 2 different types of fare media to conduct their trip.
It's a new convenience customer Mario Frazier appreciates.
It saves a lot of money because I don't keep going into my pocket to find extra change to get on the bus.
Every day, Mario takes the Orange Line to Midway, then transfers to PACE bus number 390, which takes him to work at UPS in suburban Hodgkins.
Now I can get on the CTA as well as the PACE bus with the same pass, and it's a lot convenient for me.
3 out of every 5 PACE customers use the CTA for some portion of their trip. That's one reason why this new agreement is so significant.
CTA carries more suburban residents than either Metro or PACE, so it's important for us to deal with the fact that we're a regional transit system and that our customers, both PACE customers and CTA customers, have the ability to easily connect between our 2 systems.
Since PACE began accepting all CTA passes last fall, the Suburban Transit Agency has started to experience an increase in ridership.
In order for people to easily get around the entire region, both CTA, Metro, and PACE have to work very closely together to ensure that we're providing the quality of transportation services that our customers need and deserve.
Almost 2 million customers daily use some combination of CTA, PACE, and Metro to get to and from destinations around the 6-county region. By making transfers between systems even easier, customers benefit and more people will be attracted to the convenience of public transit.
At the end of the day, ridership is the most important element or indicator of success in terms of the transit services that we provide.
We're heading back into the city on board the Cermak branch of the Blue Line, where celebration is in the air, now that the renovation of the branch is complete. It's a milestone in CTA history, and just one more way the CTA is working hard to keep you on the move.
As you look at this wonderful station, it has the past and it has the future. And what this city is all about is respecting the past, understanding the future is brighter and better.
The ribbon has been cut, and so has the cake. It was all part of a sweet celebration to mark the completion of Renew the Blue, a $483 million renovation of the 54th Cermak branch of the CTA's Blue Line.
This $483 million project is really about the revitalization of a neighborhood, a revitalization and the importance of transportation. And so for the Blue Line communities, Little Village, Pilsen, Lawndale, Cicero and beyond, this shows how important public transportation is.
This day also demonstrates the city's commitment to the revitalization of the West Side neighborhoods this branch serves, and the importance of governmental cooperation on the local, state, and national levels.
It's our largest construction project and really demonstrates the bipartisan effort that is really important to public transportation and investment in public transportation.
The recently announced addition of weekend service tops off a list of major improvements to the 54th Cermak branch of the Blue Line. With the renovation of the line comes a faster, smoother ride, along with fully renovated and accessible stations. Things that make a real difference to customers who use this branch.
All 11 stations are now accessible and meet Americans with Disabilities Act requirements, which is really important. There are a whole number of features that make it easy for persons with disabilities to ride public transit, and that's something that we very much encourage.
Columns, signals, and tracks along the branch were rebuilt. Believe it or not, some of the old structure dated back to the 1890s.
Over half of this line was in slow zones. It was going as slow as 15 miles an hour. Well, you can ride a bicycle faster than that. And that meant those travel times were very long, and it meant it was not convenient for an awful lot of people to take public transit because it was just too slow. And now it's a fast, comfortable ride.
Commuter Andre Cole takes advantage of the newly added weekend service.
Man, the weekend's been lovely because it was hard for me. I was getting on the bus in the L, and that made me late for work. When I live right up the street, so I can come up here right on Kedzie. So I can just come right on the L and go to work.
Andre uses the Blue Line every day to go to and from work.
It's really nice, you know, comfortable when you come up here, the lights and the heating, because it really be cold. So the heating, you know, did a great service.
In addition to the overhead heating and enhanced lighting, other customer-friendly conveniences include stainless steel and glass canopies, escalators, and artwork created by local artisans. Completion of the 54th Cermak Branch project marks a milestone for the CTA, and it's just one more example of the CTA's ongoing commitment to serving customer needs.
Just off the Cermak branch of the Blue Line is one of Chicago's hidden gems and a warm, inviting place to escape the winter blues. The Mexican Fine Arts Center Museum is our last stop.
Escape the winter blues by wrapping yourself in the warmth and color of Mexico while still in Chicago. The Mexican Fine Arts Center Museum in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood has been a cornerstone of culture and heritage in the city for more than 17 years. But you don't have to be an art expert to enjoy it.
I think Mexican art really has this unique strength in that it really does speak to everybody.
The Mexican Fine Arts Center Museum is a wonderful venue, not only for art, but for education too. And admission is free. You can make the trip easy and affordable by taking the CTA. Remember, the Mexican Fine Arts Center Museum is just a bus or train ride away on the CTA.
More on that next month. Now, before we go, here's your chance to tell us where and how you travel on the CTA, what you think of Connections, and what you'd like to see on upcoming episodes.
Connections is a show all about using the CTA in and around Chicago. And now we want to give you the opportunity to give us your feedback. During the month of February, you can log on to the CTA's website, www.transitchicago.com, and take a short survey. Then give us your comments, ask a question, or suggest a story idea. Your feedback is important to us, so head to your computer and share your thoughts about the CTA and Connections.
We hope you take a minute to take the survey. Then be sure to tune in next month for the beginning of another journey around Chicagoland on the CTA. I'm Dale Rivera. See you in March on Connections.
For more information about the CTA or to use the RTA's trip planner, visit our website at www.transitchicago.com. Or for customer service matters, call 1-888-YOUR-CTA. For travel information, call the RTA at 836-7000 from anywhere in the Chicago area.